I frequent a bar that's the last stop for people doing their free birthday drink run through 5 or 6 other places. Oftentimes people have only heard of 1 or 2 of the places on the run, so they go to the ones they've heard of, get their respective theme, gimmick drink, and then ask the bartenders about others. Once they've hit all the spots, they're pointed to the joint I mentioned originally. But it's different there. At that joint, the poor bastard who asks for the free birthday drink is distracted while one bartender yells, "It's your birthday?" Spins a yarn, and mixes an overcomplicated random drink. The birthday yell cues anyone else who is working to run behind the bar and fill pitchers with water. It also cues the regulars to get clear. Once the pitchers are full, the overcomplicated distraction drink is given to the poor bastard. When birthday boy throws it back, he gets a minimum of 6 pitchers of water tossed on him. A gang of beard-up dudes showed up doing the usual thing one night. Birthday boy had frosting in his hair already and one of his friends immediately ordered his free birthday drink. Definitely a deliberate setup. There were 8 guys working inside that night, which meant this was gonna be 16 pitchers of water in from multiple angles. I noticed a couple on the other side of a support column that would definitely be in the splash zone. A woman just on the other side of it, and the guy she was with on the other side of her. I said, "Hey, excuse me." No response. Seemed like she turned her head to look over but didn't acknowledge me. I tapped her on the shoulder and she turned around and snapped. "Ooh, don't talk to me." Had her hand up in my face and everything. She said, "Ooh" again and then went to the other side of the guy, right next to Beard Up Birthday Boy group. Well, okay. I looked to a security guy who saw the whole thing. He shrugged as if to say, "It's her own damn fault," and I just sat there in relative safety on the other side of my column. A few seconds later, loud slaps of water, laughter, the clatter of ice on the floor, and one really shrill shriek could be heard. My hands, up on the bar, and the bottoms of my jeans got a little wet, no big deal. I stood up to wipe my hands on my thighs and made sure to make eye contact. Did that zipper across the lips gesture, gave her a thumbs up, and sat right back down. Didn't say a word, just like I was told. Her whole left side was soaked, hair flopped down, some kind of black makeup running down her cheek. On any normal day I try to read about 30 minutes of bedtime stories to my boys, letting them choose a couple of stories each. Some of our books contain a collection of stories, but most are your standard preschool classics. Due to a later than normal dinner, and some totally normal bath time shenanigans, we only had a few minutes until lights out this evening. I explained there was time only for one book, and that I would choose. Master 4 was most upset, and wanted to stay up longer. Master 4, please mummy. I promise. I promise. Side note, he understands that I promise adds emphasis to a sentence but doesn't fully grasp the meaning of the words, leading to some pretty funny conversations right now. Me, okay, you can, but here are the rules. 1 book only. No story collections. Master 5 has to be okay with your choice. Master 4, yes mummy, but if I only get 1 story will you read all of it? Me, sure. Master 4 shot a side glance and an enormous cheeky grin at his brother, walked past his bookcase and out of the room, and returned a few seconds later with a giant book in his arms. My husband roared with laughter as he saw what my son had selected as his bedtime story, and watched as Master 4 proudly deposited the largest book he could carry into my arms, Malicious Compliance complete. Master 4, it will take you a long time to read that mummy. Me. To Master 5, are you okay with this book? Master 5, yep. Giggle. Master 4, that means you have to read it. And so I did. I gave them 5 full minutes of the Collins Spanish, English dictionary in all its dry, sleep-inducing boringness. The Spanish side. Every time he'd complain I reminded him that this was the book he chose and I had to read all of it as per our agreement. My turn for malicious compliance. He was asleep by page 3. I am filing it away for future reference. Small backstory, at the time I was a 15 or 16-year-old, female, This was a few years ago. I was dating a Mormon boy and we went to a Mormon stake meeting. Dance for all of the teens to mingle tilde. Important, I am bisexual and have a very honed and gay art. When I was asked to attend a Mormon dance, I was ecstatic. I mean, a chance to dance with my boyfriend who I barely get to spend time with. Sign me up. I get ready, nothing too flashy or showy because, well, those are the rules. I ride with the girls that I stayed with there from my ward, and once I arrived we did the usual meeting, prayer, etc. Then, the bishop from my ward makes a reminder announcement: remember to not just dance with one person. This is for socializing, not to be a date. I swear, he looked at me in particular. I've always had issues with the sisters and brothers from the ward, as we aren't supposed to date until after the man gets back from his mission. We're supposed to date with the intent of marriage. However, I was not Mormon. I just happened to like a Mormon boy. The issue was that we are supposed to socialize with all types of people from the opposite gender, and that there is no specific person we are supposed to prefer over the other, as it is not our time to start dating. So, the dance gets to starting and my boyfriend and I take the first slow dance, of course. Because we are way more affectionate than the other dancers, my bishop steps in and separates us. He states you need to dance with other people. Other people. Okay. Fine. I will. After the slow dance is over, I start looking around while sitting down because I'm damned to dance with anyone else. Then, I spot her. I'll have you know Mormons are very anti-homosexuality. I know this. She knows this. Her mother, sitting there, knows this. I get the idea. Dance with her, disrupt this meeting, but pretend to be just friendly and as if I saw her alone, which I did, and wanted to allow her to have fun, which I was. I ask her to come dance with me on one of the faster songs and she agrees, and we dance a little close. I can feel her mom fuming from across the room, but that only gives me more incentive. I ask her if she is bi or gay and she says she is bi. I say something to the likes of "wanna turn this event upside down?" And she smiles at me. I start to get more personal, grabbing her hand and lifting it above her head, spinning her and pulling her in. I mean, she is a person, right? What's the issue? A slow song comes on. I look at her and extend my hand out to dance and she accepts. We start dancing and get looks. My boyfriend is shook, too, lol. About halfway through the mom got the bishop who separated us. The look on his face when I said, well, she's a person and not my boyfriend, so I decided to dance with her. With a sickly sweet smile. I mean, I'm just being compliant, mister, you woo. I smiled and stepped away. Sorry. Guess you shouldn't stop me from doing what I want. Still smiling, I walk towards my boyfriend and plop down in the seat next to him. I kiss him on the cheek and hold his hand. We talk about it and he laughs, I laugh, we dance some more. That night was one of the best times I've stood up for myself and also challenged religious views and rules for the first time. I still don't regret it, and the girl thanked me around a year ago for giving her the last push to stand up to her mom, and now she's out of the closet. So, a bit of background, I have an issue with my veins. The veins in my left arm are very weak, so anytime someone tries to take blood or put a drip into the veins in that arm, they tend to pop. Not sure this is the right word, but going with it, spraying blood droplets all over. The veins in my right arm are fine. Subsequently, I always ask that blood be drawn from my right arm. The story: around 2002 I applied for a life cover policy. One of the requirements of the policy was for me to undergo a full physical. I was sent to a doctor of their choosing, not my GP unfortunately, for this. After it was done, I was told by the nurse they needed to take some bloods as well. I was taken into a small side room, sat down, and the nurse immediately starts prepping my left arm. I politely ask her please to take bloods from my right arm, as the veins in my left have a tendency to burst or pop when you put a needle in them. She scoffs and says something like, oh, it's because the person who did it before didn't know what they were doing. I explain that it's not a once-off thing and has happened many times before. She just says I need to relax. She continues prepping my left arm, and again I try to ask her to swap arms. She says, well, I've started prepping this arm. There's no need to worry, I assure you it won't happen again. I know what I'm doing. I try to say something and she cuts me off and says, look, let's just get this done, okay? I give up. Fine, let her find out the hard way. Okay, I say, go ahead. She gets my arm all ready, inserts the needle, and my vein bursts, spraying her nice clean white blouse with blood droplets. She stands there, shocked, staring at her now blood-spattered top. I smile and say, I told you that would happen. She didn't say a word, just got another needle and took blood from my right arm.